The Other Side Media Group and 91X now present The Other Side Radio Show, a program about people who make a difference from all walks of life in Quinte and beyond. And now here are your hosts, Jeremy and Joshua Davis.
Hi, and welcome again to The Other Side Live Father's Day edition. I'm Jeremy T. Davis, along with Joshua Davis, and today we have our own father, Gordon Davis, back in the house. Welcome back. It's great to have you here.
Thanks, Jeremy and Josh. It's a pleasure to come on your show. Very few and far between, but
Now, first of all, Dad, we're honored to have you, Dad. Now, first of all, Dad, can you take us back to the very beginning when you first learned that you were going to be a father for the very first time?
well, that's a long time ago. That was August the 8th, 1975, for my little baby girl, Melissa. And then a few years later, there was Jeremy and Joshua, twins. And those are two of the best times of my life. And I wouldn't change anything.
Didn't Grandpa Ray actually say if you and Mom kept growing that you might have triplets?
That's correct. Papa Ray was a good guy.
Could you imagine that?
Yeah, I could imagine it after having the three of you. You're good guys, and Missy's a good gal.
I can remember when we were born, Missy told me these stories, and so did Mom. And Jeremy was Mom's baby, and I was Missy's baby, and she would put me in the carriage.
And then there's Jeremy, back to Jeremy.
Well, yes, I recall Mom and Missy sharing some of those unforgettable stories. Now, is it fair to say that's why you decided to behave, and because you didn't want to go for triplets?
That's correct. Three is enough. Three's just three's company. That's right.
Yes. Now, Dad, on a serious note, can you tell us your main parental advice for those young people out there, who are thinking of having a family or expanding their own family? You can take the mic.
Keep your stick on the ice and nowhere else.
Well, that's one way to put it. Anything else, Dad?
I don't know. I can't be serious on that. If you want to have a family, you want to be able to do your best. And no matter what other people say, you're the one looking after your children. And bless you for that.
Yes. Now, as you look back, Dad, what is one of your most fond memories? We might have been over this in a previous interview, but I had to ask, as a few years have passed since you joined us in this capacity on this very special Father's Day.
Well, this is basically almost 48 years since I've been a father. And we won't do the math there on it, many things. But everything's been special about it. Some of it's been especially hard, some's being regular, but there's been a lot of fun too, a lot of good times, and everybody goes through hard times and good times and sad times and happy times, and what can I say?
A lot of good times with a lot of family vacations, and to Disney World, to Niagara Falls, to Nashville, and all of those trips down east and to Prince Edward Island. to New Brunswick. Well, we got to see the world or this country together, and that's how you learn. Would you like to comment on that, Dad? On our family vacations and having Mom up there as your co-pilot to help you along the way.
Well, without your mom going along, it would have been pretty difficult. And Jeremy used to seem to get up there as a co-pilot also. He'd be on some of our trips for like, he'd sit up front for about 17 hours on the way.
Without going to sleep.
Yeah, he couldn't get that guy to go to sleep. But, we just had a great deal of fun and learning and meeting our relatives down east and in Boston and all those places, Florida. Yeah, Uncle Roland in New Brunswick, yeah. Just all around lots of fun, and kind of sad that we're not able to do those things much anymore. The old man has went through a few journeys of his own, as well as you guys have too. But that doesn't stop us.
Well, no, it doesn't stop us. And since you alluded to that, Dad, I don't want to bring anyone down on this very special day. And Father's Day is special, but let's remember and let's never forget this, that every day should be a very special day to salute all our loved ones, and especially our dads and father figures on this particular day.
Our fathers and our grandfathers.
Yes, and our grandfathers and all those people that have been in our life. And we thank you so very much, both to our parents and grandparents for our upbringing. But what I wanted to get to is you alluded, yes, you have had a number of setbacks. We all have, but we rise above it. But you were diagnosed a couple of years ago now, almost a couple of years ago. Don't have the exact time in hand, with cancer. And when you get that diagnosis, I'm sure it hits you like a brick, makes you put things into perspective. But you have fought back. You're still here, despite the fact that they didn't think you would be, with stage 4 cancer. So can you tell our listeners just a little bit about that, what you're comfortable of, and to help inspire those out there going through something similar to keep going, never give up, believe in themselves, not always the medical report. Thank you. You're a champion and a real fighter in what you've been going through.
Well, thanks, Josh and Jeremy. I don't like to talk about the cancer thing because sometimes it offends people for whatever reason, and sometimes people are happy about it, you know. They think that's the way it should be, and I believe if God's helping up there, he has to be, because the doctors aren't able to control this now. But they can't figure out how I am still alive. But that's through you guys and Missy and Mom and Grandma Dora.
Yes.
And even my sister Jenny, and she's went through a lot. Grandma's going through a lot. My Aunt Carla's going through a lot. And we hope her all the best. But we want this to be a Father's Day to remember for everyone. And
Josh has something to say. Yes, that's wonderful, Dad, to say. And as I always say, what makes us weak makes us stronger in the end. And family is the true backbone of our survival. We love our family to pieces. The the family ties that bind somehow always keeps us together, no matter what hurdles we go through. And thank you to our mom and dad and our grandma and our aunts and uncles and our big sister Melissa and to my hero Jeremy. He's been going through a lot, but trust me, I'm right beside you guys through thick and thin, and we'll get through anything with God's help. Now, what I want to get through to now, God, Dad, is this. You worked at Miller Safety for many years on the Waller Road, and you worked with Grandpa Carl right across the aisle. Would you like to share some memorable stories of that for our listeners that may not know?
Grandpa Carl was a good worker, and him and I worked together on a lot of stuff, and we could turn out harnesses faster than anyone else. If somebody was turning out 30, we were turning out 300. And they'd bring us in and give us extra stuff because they knew we'd have it out by the end of the day. And I learned a lot from your Grandpa Carl, my father-in-law, your grandpa. Yeah. And my father taught me all kinds of things too.
Grandma always says it all started with a hot dog because he invited you in for something to eat for supper and you never left.
That's right.
It's almost been 50 years to the date for that.
That's correct. And I'll turn this back over to Jeremy.
Well, absolutely. I'm glad that you brought up about Grandpa Carl, and I'm glad anytime we talk about our loved ones that are still with us, or the ones that we believe, and not to sound too preachy, but this is what we believe, the ones that are may not be here physically, but the ones that are always with us in spirit. And Grandpa Carl certainly is, Grandpa Ray is, and Grandma June, and Step Grandpa Paul, and all that have gone before us. Now, again, we might have been over this in a previous interview with you, but you're not here very often in the guest chair, Dad. So I want to just get this perspective again. What did your parents, what did they teach you, or what did you take from them in terms of when you and Mom were going to be parents, and all the experiences that life brings in that way? Does anything stick out that they instilled in you, both Grandpa Ray or Grandma June, in that regard?
Independence.
Okay.
Be independent. You can do it yourself. You can, if you try hard enough.
Can you tell me about the time you got your first car?
Well, Grandpa Ray was pretty strong on that. He said, "You want a car? You figure it out yourself and finance it yourself."
Yeah, the first car story. Yeah.
That was 1969 about, and it was a 68 Envoy Epic station wagon, a shaggin' wagon. Not much shagging went on.
That you look pretty cool.
Yeah, it was a. And so I ended up. My dad didn't have the time; he worked all the time, the same as Grandpa Carl. But I was just a kid then, and he wanted me to figure out how to do it, and that's teaching.
Yeah.
So if he wasn't going to help me figure out how to pay for it, I went to the bank, and I still see Mr. Todd, Wayne Todd, that lives in Belleville now. It's a shout out to Wayne.
Yeah.
He was the banker then, and he actually, I persuaded him to give me a loan, and he co-signed my loan for me, which you're not supposed to do, but he did it anyways with a promissory note that I would pay every week on that vehicle, and I did, and paid it off. But here's Jeremy.
Now, so, no, those are very valuable lessons that you just said to our listeners. And Josh and I have always tried to be, and Missy, very independent in our life and our vocation, whether well, we do the broadcasting together, the journalism together, but I took the political route, and I'm still on many committees of council, and I thank everyone for the opportunity that they've entrusted in me. Josh is an accomplished author, and so we all have reached out and tried to strive and achieve our own goals. And I think that's to both yours and Mom's credit for what you instilled in us at a very early age. Can you take us back to when you first met Mom at the bowling alley with Aunt Bev that many years ago? You were the pin boy. Yabba dabba doo. Well, I don't know if he wants to comment on that or not. You could tell us a little bit. I know Josh has a special poem, and we wanted to try and put some special music, but we have some more time, or we'll preempt the other shows.
That was a long time ago on Easter break from school, from high school, and it was a full moon out there, and of course, I was smoking the big shot, smoking, and so I had to have a little job to get money to smoke and pay for those 50-cent cigarettes for a pack of smokes.
Were you a pretty good bowler, Dad?
No, I didn't do a lot of bowling. I did pin setting, so I could play pool. I was a pretty good pool player.
Cool.
But and that's where Mom and her sister used to come and sit there and watch us. Yeah, Bev. And I thought she was the hottest thing going. Both of the girls look pretty hot to me, really. But the old guy is. That's a shout out to Aunt Bev too. And Carla May was the younger sister. But a shout out to her to get better, and God bless. I love you guys.
We love y'all. Yes, we love all our family, friends, and extended family. We wish every father and figure and every parent the best day today. Because sometimes, as Josh pointed out, sometimes parents have to do double roles, due to work schedules, due to all kinds of things in this changing world. So your contributions never go unnoticed. And so, Dad, out of all the things that you have achieved, both personally in your life
I'm looking at two of them.
and professionally in your career, if there was anything that you could ever aspire to achieve next, what would it be and why?
That's pretty heavy. Just to continue to be the dad I am and try to do the best I can for you boys. You're my boys. Yeah. And your sister. And I try to help out everyone I can along the way. I don't know why, but my dad was that way too. And Grandpa Carl always helped everyone.
I do want to quickly say, before I turn it over to Josh, before we're out of time, I think he has some special words of hope. And if we have time, we'll have some special music. Otherwise, we'll do that on our YouTube channel. But I do want to say, I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. Um, Dad, Mom, our entire family, our network of friends. You know, as you alluded to before, life is a journey. It's not always easy. It's not what you plan, but it's the experience along the way. And this past year, with my health setbacks, we still don't know exactly what we're dealing with. We're taking each day as it comes. Some days I feel better than others. So we just hope, and you're a testament, Mom's a testament, and so is our family and friends, that together we can get through anything. And thank you so much for being our special guest today. And now, here is Canadian author J.R. Davis with another Words of Hope segment for this Father's Day 2023. Thank you very much, Jeremy and Dad and everyone. It gives me great pleasure to come into your homes each and every week, both for myself and Jeremy, to inspire you, to give you hope and optimism for the future. We love you from the bottom of our hearts. You inspire us to go forward in everything that we do. And I can only hope that I can be the best father in conversation as you are to me and Jeremy. And Missy too. God bless. I love you. I love you, Mom. You always put a smile on my face, even when I'm down, because you're the rock of my life. You guys are everything to me. The bedrock is the family of my soul. Thank you. I'd like to do this poem for you. Love's Rhapsody. If love was a river, I'd jump in for a swim. If love was a bridge, I'd do anything to get to you. If love was time, it would be a family reunion too. If love was hunger, I would always be full. If love was the sun, I would always be warm. If love was loyalty, it would be a pet by your side, or walking down the aisle with your beautiful bride. If love was a father, there'd always be a mother. If love was laughter, life would be light. If love was an eagle, it would always take flight. If love was rain, there'd always be moisture upon my face. If love was a church, there'd always be amazing grace. If love was a garden, there'd always be roses. If love was my heart, it would always be pumping. Love's Rhapsody. God bless you and your family forever and ever. Amen. And God bless our Holy Father that looks down on us in heaven. Thank you for your earthly gifts. Thank you very much. Peace to you all. Happy Father's Day. And this has been a very special edition of The Other Side Radio Show Live Father's Day edition with our father, Gordon C. Davis, and J.R. Davis as the Canadian author that he is, on location at McDonald's for 91X FM. We will see you next week. God bless. And we'll send it out on a high note with some special music for the fathers out there and the fathering figures. I think we have some time left. So take it away.
There are places I'll remember all my life. Though some have changed, some forever, not for better. Some have gone and some remain. All these places have their moments for lovers and friends. I still can recall. Some are dead and some are living. In my life, I love them all. But of all these friends and lovers, there is no one compares with you. And these memories lose their meaning when I think of love as something new. Though I know I'll never lose affection for people and things that went before. I know I'll often stop and think about them. In my life, I love you more. Though I know I'll never lose affection for people and things that went before. I know I'll often stop and think about them. In my life, I love you more. In my life, I love you more.
The Other Side Radio Show is a production of the Other Side Media Group in association with 91X. You can connect on Facebook at the Other Side Media Group, Instagram at Jeremy Tyler Davis, or on YouTube at Jeremy T. Davis, Belleville, Ontario, for on-demand episodes and more. Tune in next week for another episode of the Other Side Radio Show.